have these props, 2 blocks in a bolster at home, grab them. If you don't, no problem, I'll offer options to use props or no props. So if you do have something similar, I'm going to have us begin in some sort of a heart opener. So you can also do this with, if you have a rolled up blanket or towel that you want to place behind the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, you can do that as well. Or you can just begin on your back without anything underneath. So let's get started there. So I'm going to demonstrate some different options to start with the heart opener. So if you're not taking the heart opener, that's fine. You can lay onto your mat. If you do have a bolster in 2 blocks, this is a nice gentle way to start. You can place the blocks, the back of the mat. So this one highest, this one lowest, to create an L shape. And then you would take the bolster and then just lay it over that. So this is going to create kind of an angle for you to open the chest. So that's the setup. It'll look like this. Back of the pelvis right up against. And then you can just lay back onto the bolster and just let the chest open. So you can try that if you have those props, or if you don't have a bolster, but you do have 2 blocks, here's another option. You can keep this block the highest height, move this one to the middle height, and place it a little further away. So maybe about a block's distance or a foot apart. And then this will create a heart opener with 2 blocks. So if you do have the 2 blocks, you can take this if you want to begin in that position. So I'll demonstrate this. Like I said, you can choose to use props if you have them, or you can choose to just lay onto your back. So I'm going to find my middle back. So this block is supporting just the middle back, not the lower back, not all the way to the shoulder blades, just lifting the chest. And then I can lay back, find the other block. So ideally, I want just the back of my skull to be supported by that block. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I demonstrated on the bolster. So arms open out by the sides, palms facing up. And I can choose to just start with my feet, settle down to the mat if that's a little bit easier, a little gentler for the body. Or if you like, you can stretch the legs forward or even take the feet together, knees out. So depending on your body, different shapes may feel more comfortable for you, may feel right. So you can play around with that. So take your time getting into a position. So obviously I'm not there to see what you're doing, but if you notice that especially you're doing the 2 blocks and that middle one is just not right, come out of it, adjust it, figure out where it needs to go. You can move it up and down a little bit and just finding that sweet spot. So once you are in whatever position that you've chosen, props or no props, take a moment to let your body settle in. So I'd like us to begin kind of focusing on that lift of the chest. So we're broadening across the collarbones. So depending on what props you're using, you may find that this is creating a back bend for you. So it's kind of opening up, especially that middle back. So ideally, when we do things like back bends, we want to focus on using the entire length of the spine, the entire back body, not just the lower back, which is where we put a little too much focus most of the time. So if you find that your lower back always feels a little bit tight, you may find that you're overusing it, especially when doing back bends in your yoga practice. So just start to notice certain areas of the body, notice what's going on with the lower back. Then notice that middle back. See if you can find a little bit more of that opening into that middle back, maybe even all the way into the upper back. And then really breathe more space across the chest. So feel with each inhale that you're expanding across the collarbones, widening a bit. And then exhaling. And just take a few breaths like that. Just inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. And so that's where we'll begin. Just a few more breaths laying into this position. The bells in the air as a comet sound. And then wherever you are, you're going to start to stretch your arms up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to reach behind you. So as you stretch the arms back, try to feel long across the arms, across the torso. And then you can maybe just keep the arms stretched back. You can clasp if you like, bend the elbows, clasp opposite elbows. Or you can grab a wrist, poke the thumbs, or just keep the palms open facing the ceiling. So especially if you are elevated on blocks and you want to get a bigger chest opener, maybe try taking the arms further overhead so that they're moving behind you but closer toward the ground a bit more. And then slowly release whatever you're holding and stretch your arms straight up to the ceiling once again. And then take the arms slowly down next to you. Maybe a little further away from your sides. And then eventually step your feet onto the mat. If your knees are wide, you can slowly draw them together. So once the feet are settled onto the mat, you're going to make your way onto your back without thought. So if you're on blocks or bolster, go ahead and start to shift slowly to one side. And then just move those props out of the way. So maybe the couple of blocks can go towards the front edges of your mat if you want to use those later. And then take your time, lay down slowly onto your mat once again. And once you're there, without drawing the knees to the chest yet, we're going to do that in a moment. Place your feet onto the mat, knees bent. Have your feet wider than your hips. And then you're just going to slowly drop your knees side to side. You can do this with arms by your sides or arms overhead if you like. Just that little movement to kind of notice the lower back once again. And then let your knees come back through center. Now, one at a time, slowly draw the knees into the chest. And then sway a little bit. We're going to take a very brief twist. You're going to let your knees fall to the right. And you're going to gaze toward the left. Arms can stretch out, or you can keep the arms kind of overhead in a cactus shape. You can even hold the side of your left thigh if you'd like, and just kind of brush it further toward the knee. Maybe look away from where the knees are pointing opposite direction. And then bringing the knees back through center, let them fall to the left. And then maybe stretch that right arm out or bend the elbow. Maybe stretch the left arm out or hold the side of the leg. And then when you're ready, bring your knees back through center. Hug your knees back to your chest. Go ahead and stretch your right leg forward. Hold the left knee, pull it in towards you, and then flex through the right heel. Maybe hover the heel off of the mat a couple of inches and really lengthen through the leg. And then just switch sides. Bend the right knee, pull it in towards you, extend the long through the left heel, hover it, and let the toes point up as you press the soles of the foot forward. And then bring that left knee back in. Now instead of side to side, start to rock back and forth. Head and tail, so you're going along the length of your spine. Do that maybe 4 or 5 more times. And then when you're ready, come all the way upright from there. Let's make our way onto hands and knees. So set up on your mat in a tabletop position, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, draw the heart forward, look ahead. Exhale, press with the hands, round and find cat's breath. And then cycle through cat and cow with your breath pace, whatever that pace is. And then settle back into neutral as you take your next inhale. Keeping your back flat, extend your right leg straight back behind you now, heel hip height. Press through the heel, and then stretch your opposite left arm straight out in front of you. Take 2 more breaths. Really work to lengthen all the way across the back body as you stretch arm and leg away from one another. On your next exhale, take it back to hands and knees. Then switch sides, extend your left leg straight back, press through the heel, keep a long spine as you send your right arm straight out in front of you. Once again, try to lift up away from the ground and lengthen across the back body as you stretch in opposite directions. On your next exhale, take it back down to hands and knees. Take a moment here, walk your hands to your knees, come up to kneeling. So if it's uncomfortable where you are on your mat, whatever floor surface, you can place something under the knees, towel, or blanket. Take your hands behind you, let's get a shoulder stretch. Interlace your fingers, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest up. With your hands clasped behind you, you can also grab your shirt or a strap. Stretch the knuckles straight down, brush your tailbone down manually towards the backs of the knees. Pull the chest up. As the chest pulls up, the shoulders roll back, the head leans back. Pop the chest up to the ceiling, maybe move your hands a little further away from your back body. Notice if you start to take this in lower back. If you do, pull upright a bit more, then stretch the arms back. Think of the tailbone going down as the heart lifts. Unclasp, stretch your arms overhead, reach for the ceiling, take another inhale. And then exhale, bend the elbows, draw the hands down to your heart. Lean forward, come back to hands and knees. Right. So for what we're doing next, I'm going to turn to face you. Okay, so staying in that tabletop, you're going to send your right leg straight back again. Now, with the foot flexed, open the hip so that the toes turn over towards the right. So if you can see, my toes are pointing toward the right. Then you're going to start to very slowly swing, well, not using too much momentum, but bring that leg forward, 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 trying to get the foot maybe next to you, right across from the shoulder. So maybe a little lower, try to lift a little higher. If you want more of a challenge, send your left arm the opposite direction. Ooh, that's too much, take the hand down. All right, so your core is probably shaking a little bit. Very slowly, set that right foot down next to you. Look at it, make sure it's across from your left knee. If it's not, adjust a little bit. Keep the toes pointing forward. Walk your hands toward that knee and come to a half kneel. So make sure your left hip is right above the knee, and then your right leg is extended like a slide. Stretch your left arm to the side. Hold your hand to your right hip, flip the palm up. Inhale, reach to the ceiling. On your exhale, tip over that extended leg. Parigasana gate pose. Hand can stay on the hip, or if you want to go further into the side stretch, slide it gently down the leg without feeling like you're shortening the right side of the legs too much. So you're lengthening to the left side. Maybe look underneath the top off. As you inhale, come all the way back upright. Bring the hands to the hips. Let's do this for a moment. Heel toe your right foot forward, right in front of you. So you're coming into a little kneeling lunge. And then wiggle the toes forward a bit. Keep the hands on the hips. Lift the front of the pelvis up a bit. Then bend the knee further forward. Don't let it go past the ankle. If it does, wiggle the toes forward. And then you're coming to this kneeling lunge. Try to keep the front of the pelvis lifted. Then once you have that, stretch the arms out. Turn the palms up, inhale, come into Anjaneyasana. On your exhale, lean forward. Take your left hand to the ground or on a block, right across from your right foot. Send your right arm straight forward. And then exhale, twist to the right. Raise the right arm to the ceiling. So maybe you're doing this with the back knee staying down. Maybe you're curling the back toes and lifting the knee up and straighten the back leg. So you're coming into a twisting lunge here. So bottom hand on a block perhaps, or on fingertips, or just bottom knee down if you need to modify. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Take another inhale here. And then on your exhale, turn to face the ground. Bring that right hand down. Maybe wiggle that foot in a little bit. Then you're going to step to plank pose. Slide that foot back, find a plank pose. So shoulders are above the wrists. Legs are extended behind you. So maybe full plank, maybe you're taking the knees down because you're modifying. Either way is fine. Modify as much as you need to. Take breaks as much as you need to. Take a child's pose here and there if you like. Work at your pace. And then slowly take the knees down. One at a time, return to tabletop. If you need to, take a moment, shake out the wrists. All right, so we're gonna do all of that on the other side. I'm gonna face you again. So you're making your way to that tabletop, and then you're extending left leg straight back behind you. Flex the foot, press through the heel. Keep the legs straight. Now I'm just gonna let the left hip lift a bit so you can turn the toes off to the side. If you're not sure, you can look back and just make sure they're pointing to the side. And then do this slowly. Engage the core a lot so you don't start to arch the back and dip your belly down. Just start to move that foot off to the side. Try to, if possible, keep it the same height as your hip. So it may drop down a bit. You're working to slowly bring it forward so that the ankle maybe is right across from that hip. Maybe you're staying there. Maybe you're like, I want to stretch opposite arm out and balance. And then take the right hand down if you lifted it. Lower slowly that foot back onto the mat. And then look back, make sure that the knee is across from the arch. Set yourself up, and when you're ready, walk your hands back. We're gonna come to gate pose. Hug the hips together. Keep this leg extended, seal the foot. Reach the right arm to the side. Palm up. Inhale, raise the arm to the ceiling. And then exhale, start to extend it long over that left leg. Maybe send that hand down the leg. Keep breathing. Try to let the shoulders crunch to the ears. See if you can draw them further down the back while keeping the chest open and the breath moving. With your inhale, slowly come back upright. Hold onto the hips, bend the knee, and just take it for a walk. Bring it forward. So have it right in line with the hip, knee and toes point forward. And then you're probably going to need to wiggle the toes a little further forward without letting the pelvis drop, dip down. Lift it up. So frontal hip points draw towards the front body. And then see if you can send that knee into a deeper lunge without letting your pelvis drop. Because the more you do that, you'll start to feel, oh, I'm shortening the lower back. That's what I don't want to do. So try to keep a little more lifted through the upper body as you find a stronger bend through the left knee. When you're ready, reach the arms out. Turn the palms out, stretch the arms to the ceiling, and then maybe look up as well, lift the chest, try to lift the back ribs up a little bit to preserve the space in the back body. Maybe you're even coiling back just a little bit, finding that middle upper back bend. And then exhale, leaning forward, bringing the right hand to the ground across from the foot or elevate on a block. Send your left arm forward. On your exhale, twist toward that side. Stretch that hand to the ceiling. Maybe keep that back knee down. Maybe tuck the toes under and lift the knee and straighten the leg. And then take 3 more breaths. Hug this left hip towards center. Gently draw it back. Draw the heart forward in this bottom right shoulder back. Squeeze the inner thighs, turn an inch further. On your exhale, turn back to face the ground. Bring that hand all the way to the mat. Then, once again, step back to plank pose. So you can take the back knee down if you need to, walk it back if that's a better route. Once you're back in your plank pose, once again, we're gonna hold this for a bit. So maybe the knees come down, maybe you're modifying your plank. Keep breathing wherever you are. Now, start to look past the edge of your mat, or just look forward. Start to lean so your shoulders go past your wrists. Slow chaturanga to the mat. Once again, knees come down if you're modifying. Elbows bend 90, and then come all the way to the mat. Move my blocks forward. Once you're all the way down, stretch the toes back. Hug the elbows in. Push the palms down. Drag the heart forward a couple of inches, and then lift it a couple of inches away from the ground as you roll the shoulders under the back. And then exhale back to the mat. Take that again, low cobra, inhale. Really work a forward movement before you lift up, and then exhale down. All right, one more back bend here. You can stay with cobra, or you can come to up dog. Inhale, press with the hands, lift the chest. Maybe keep the elbows bent, maybe straighten the arms. Maybe you're in a swan pose, your knees are down. Maybe you're in a full up dog and the knees lift, shoulders back, chest, heart up, look forward. On your exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe press to hand the knees this first time, tuck the toes, lift the knees. So this is our first down dog. It's kind of late in the class to come into it. So take a moment to maybe you still need to pedal and work it out. But then very soon I'd like you to find stillness. So once you're settled in your down dog, so feet are hips distance, hands are shoulder distance, inner palms pressing into the mat. And then the base of all 10 fingers are working, they're engaged. Your outer upper arms are gently wrapping in. Your inner thighs are gently wrapping back, and the tops of both thighs are pressing back so the hips can move further behind you. All right, walk your hands slowly back to meet your feet. So you're folding forward the back of your mat. Maybe you're clasping your elbows and hanging. Maybe like you did overhead at the beginning, you're grabbing your wrist or hooking the thumbs and swaying, whatever feels nice. And then let your arms release. Do this for me. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see me once again. You're going to bend your left knee, and then you're going to twist a bit toward the right. Take your left hand, reach it to the outside of your leg. So depending on how open your hamstrings are, it may be just below the knee, closer to the calf, and maybe down toward the ankle. You can bend the right knee, just bend your left knee quite a bit. Then keep leaning down, and then twist your upper body to the right, raise the right arm to the ceiling. So there's a little leaning twist. It's a really nice way to get into that lower back to get a stretch. And then exhale, come back through center. Now bend the right knee a lot as you twist to the left. Maybe bend the left knee a bit. Grab this outside of the leg, raise that arm to the ceiling. Take that hand as high as you need to. Bend both knees a bit more if you need to. So really pull yourself toward that side of the room. And then exhale, come all the way back down through center. Hang there. Now bend both knees a lot. You're going to roll upright to standing slowly. And then once you're upright, roll the shoulders all the way back behind you. Turn the palms to face forward. Stretch the arms out as you inhale. Raise the hands up to the ceiling. As you exhale, take the hands together at the heart. All right, we're going to start to move a bit more now. Make your way to the front of the mat. So keep in mind as we move through the class, like I said, you can modify skip poses, you can skip vinyasas as needed, take breaks whenever you need to. Slow it down to your pace or speed it up to your pace. Standing tall at the top of the mat, we're going to move through Surya Namaskar A 3 times. First time slow. Inhale, float the arms wide, reach to the ceiling. On the exhale, hinge at the hips, arms out as you bow all the way down to a forward fold. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, find Ardha Uttanasana. Find a long spine here, stretch ahead. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Step back to plank. One foot goes back and then the other, so you're in a full plank. Now you're going to look forward. Take that shift, really lean past your wrists. Then take Chaturanga, maybe knees down, maybe knees up. Maybe you come just halfway, hover, and then right into Cobra, Swan Pose, or Upward Facing Dog. On your exhale, maybe hands and knees, or maybe flip the feet. Pull the thighs back as you press the hips up and towards the back of your mat. Down dog. Take another inhale in your downward facing dog. Open your mouth with your exhale inside. Go. Notice how that makes you feel. Return to that if you need to. Now start to lift your heels high away from the back of your back. Come on to the ball of the feet. Bend your knees a lot. Feel like you're pulling your hips further back. Look between your hands. Maybe walk the feet to the hands, maybe step, step, or a full hop. Once you're there, inhale, stretch halfway up, long spine. Exhale, folding down again. Arms go out like wings as you inhale all the way to stand, reach to the ceiling. On your exhale, draw the hands through heart center. Let's do that 2 more times. Move a little faster. Maybe you go at my pace, maybe you slow it down. Arms wide, reach up as you inhale. Exhale as you bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back halfway. Either step to plank or bend the knees, hands plant, maybe shoot the legs back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog, or any back bend that works for you. Down dog on the exhale. Take 3 breaths in down dog. Find more length through the arms. So feel like you're extending up away from the front of your mat, lengthening the limbs, letting the hips rise, letting the thighs press back to keep the legs engaged. When you're ready to come forward, look between the hands. Maybe rise, bend the knees, maybe hop, step, or just walk forward. Once you're there, inhale, Ardha halfway. Holding on the exhale. Coming to stand on the inhale. Reach all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands back down to the heart. Right through that 3rd cycle. Inhale, arms reach up. Forward fold on the exhale. Heart forward, Ardha on the inhale. Moving through the vinyasa, plant the hands. Step it, or if you're jumping, bend elbows as you move through chaturanga to the mat. Inhale as you lift the heart up away from the mat. Exhale as you return to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. When you're ready, look forward. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Step it, walk it, float it forward. Once you're at the front, inhale halfway up. Forward fold, exhaling. From there, inhale, ride the breath to stand. And then exhale, take the hands to the heart. All right, staying at the top of the mat, Surya Namaskar seat. Inhale, float the arms wide, reach up. Exhale, bowing forward, taking that fold. Inhale, halfway, heart forward. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step your right foot all the way to the back of that really long lunge. Take the knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale, rise to Anjaneyasana. So lift away from the left side, raise the arms to the ceiling nice and high. Exhale, lean forward, hands back to the mat. Curl the back toes, lift the knee up. From here, step to plank. Once you're in plank, look forward. Lean past your wrists. Take chaturanga, exhale to lower. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, return through downward facing dog. Once you're in down dog, inhale, extend your right leg straight back behind you. Then take your time. You're gonna bend the knee to the chest, use the core, look forward, step it up. If you didn't make it there, use blocks. Boost it, wiggle it, whatever you need. Back knee comes down, untuck the toes. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, right knee bend. Exhale, lean forward, hands down. Curl the back toes, lift the knee, listen carefully on your exhale. Step your left foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway up, Ardha. Forward fold on the exhale again. Arms wide as you lead yourself to stand. Exhale as the hands come to the heart. Let's go right to that second side. Inhale, arms stretch to the ceiling. Exhale, folding over the legs. Inhale, long spine, gaze ahead. Exhale, bend the knees, hands down. Now step the left foot back. Find your high lunge, take the knees to the mat. Untuck the toes, inhale, raise the arms, big kneeling lunge. Exhale, hands meet the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Step to plank pose. So if you want, skip the vinyasa, feel free. Maybe move through the flow. Lead yourself from chaturanga to your back bend. And then exhale to down dog. Once you're there, inhale, send your left leg all the way to the back. Bring the knee in, step it through. So don't get frustrated if it doesn't get where you need to go. It takes time, you can give it a little wiggle. When you're ready, right knee down. Inhale, Arms up, left knee bending, upper body lifting Anjaneyasana. Exhale, come back down, hands plant. Curl the back toes. Right knee lifts, look ahead on the exhale, right foot steps to the front. Then inhale, halfway up, heart forward. Folding back down, Uttanasana, exhale. Arms go out as you inhale. Once again, standing tall, reach up. Bring the hands to the heart, exhale. All right, give yourself a moment. Take a water break if you need to. We're going to be doing a little bit more flow series. We're going to be switching it up. It'll be kind of a similar setup to what we just did, Surya C, but we're going to work in some different poses. All right, standing at the top of the mat. When you're ready, keep in mind, slow it down, skip vinyasas, modify poses as you need. Hands at the heart, take a moment. Press on the feet, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. Feel long through the entire body. When you're ready, inhale, float the arms out and up, reach the ceiling. On the exhale, forward fold. Halfway heart forward as you inhale, long spine. On the exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step your right foot all the way back to a long lunge. This time, maybe don't take the knee down. Bend the knee just a little bit. Walk your hands to your left thigh. Press onto it, lift the upper body away from it, come into crescent. So back knee can be bent. If you need to, you can even hop the foot further in. If the stance is too long, you can wiggle your foot to the left a little bit if you need more space. And then bring the hands to the heart for a moment. Lift the heart into the hands. Feel like you're rising up away from the front of your body. And then maybe stay here, or take the arms out. Turn the palms up, come into full crescent once again. Sink that front knee forward. Lift the upper body, lift the chest. If you want more challenge, find that upper back bend. So once again, don't let it go to the lower back. Keep the back knee bent. Front of the pelvis lifts. Maybe keep it a little further back if you want that challenge. Slowly bring it forward. Exhale, lean forward, hands down. Pause here. Step back to plank pose. If you are skipping the vinyasa, fine. If you're taking it, shift forward. Chaturanga to take it down. Inhale to find your back. Exhale to down dog. All right, from down dog, inhale, send your right leg all the way back behind you. On your exhale, bend the knee, pull it through, step it forward. You're gonna set up for crescent. If you know that a more open stance is better, wiggle it, hop the back foot in if you need to. Walk your hands to your right thigh, soften the back knee. And then press onto the thigh to lift the upper body up. So start with a good bend of your back knee. You may need to start there and then eventually straighten it. And then take the hands to the heart. Continue breathing and lifting through the upper body. Pull the belly back a bit. And then if you can do this without letting the pelvis tip forward or lean forward, then maybe slowly straighten the back leg a little bit more. And then if you're feeling confident, float the arms out wide to the sides. Breathe, palms up, stretch the hands all the way up. So you can look straight ahead. You can let the gaze lift as well as the arms. And then maybe if you want to challenge, you're adding that upper back bend. Not necessary, if this is too intense. If the balance feels tricky, keep the gaze forward and don't worry about the back bend. Just worry about feeling that stretch of the back left hip flexor. Very slowly, bring the gaze forward if you haven't already. Lean over your right thigh, plant your hands. Stay here for a moment, pausing your high lunge. So if you took the back foot a bit, you may need to wiggle it further behind you. You're gonna come into the twist. So twisting to the right, float that right arm to the ceiling. So maybe the back leg stays lifted, maybe you take it down, maybe you find that block again. From your twist, exhale, come back to a high lunge. Look forward, inhale. Exhale, step the back foot to the front. Then inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale as you fold back down. Arms out, inhale, come all the way to the top. And then exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. All right, let's move to the second side. So I said, if you need to slow it down, slow it down. Inhale, floating the arms out. Exhale, bowing forward, Uttanasana. Halfway inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Bend the knees, plant the hands, now step the left foot all the way back. All right, so we're gonna take that crescent again. So if you need to maybe not step it as far back or open the stance, maybe instead of walking the hands to the thigh this time, maybe come straight up into the pose. If you feel a little unsteady, you can always take the back knee down. You can always do hands to thigh or hips. 2 more breaths. Find even more extension through the upper body. Raise the arms a little higher. Maybe bend your right knee a little more. Maybe take that back. When you're ready to come forward, exhale, slowly lean towards the ground, hands down. Step back to plank pose. Feel free to skip the vinyasa. Maybe take it, maybe not. Maybe just go, oh, down dog would be better for me. Once you are back in down dog, inhale, extend, 3-legged dog, left leg goes back. Then draw the knee high to the chest, round, pull it through, step it forward. Set yourself up for crescent. Adjust the stance however you need to. When you're ready, maybe 1 breath. Rise straight up into the pose, or take your time to get there and build it. Take modifications that work better for you. Keep a strong knee, strong bend of the front knee. Keep a lifted upper body. Continue breathing. Focus on the breath. That may help the balance again. Maybe you're working the back bend, maybe you're not. 1 more inhale in crescent. As you exhale, take it all the way back down. Once your hands are down, maybe they're on blocks, or one's on a block, maybe that right foot squiggles a little further back, and then you plant the right hand on the block for the ground. Maybe the back knee comes down, you twist to the left. So focus on the upper body turning. Focus on the hips hugging together, and then the crown of the head reaching forward so your spine is lengthening, and then each exhale brings you a little deeper into that twist. With your exhale, rotate to face your mat. From this high lunge, look forward, inhale. Soften the back knee as you exhale, step it all the way forward. Stretch up halfway on the inhale. Forward fold on the exhale. Bring it to the top as you inhale, rise all the way back up. And then return the hands to the heart. Close your eyes. Take 3 slow breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. Listen to your heart. When you're ready, open your eyes, release your hands. Let's come to stand center of the mat and turn to the side. Step your feet out wide, or depending on your space, you can stay where you are if you have room to step your feet wide. So feet start off parallel, hands on the hips. Bend your right knee, and then rotate from the hip socket to point the knee and toes straight forward, knee tracks over toes. Left toes peel in, closer to the front heel. Left heel slides further away from it. So you're making that 45-degree angle, and you're lining your right heel up to the arch of the back left foot. And then bending that knee deeper forward. Notice what's going on with the upper body. You're probably slightly turning towards the front thigh or even leaning over it. Take your hands from your hips up onto your rib cage. Do this for me. Lift your rib cage up, hold it like it's a container, and pull it up off of the waist. Then spin it back to the side, but don't let this knee buckle toward the side. Keep the knee pointing ahead. And then try to center your upper body so that both sides of the waist are long, the shoulders are above the hips. Breathe into the hands for a moment, relax the shoulders. Well, then slowly release the hands from the sides, stretch the arms out, turn your head, look forward, warrior 2. So maybe bend your right knee a little further forward. And try to keep the same bend of the knee. reverse your shape. Right palm up, inhale, raise it up as the backhand either brushes down the leg, comes to the hip, or wraps behind the back. Any variation that is best for you. Press the back heel, bend the right knee forward. As you inhale, return up through warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Great. Reach your right hand forward. Lean over the thigh without twisting toward it so that right side stays long. Take your hand down. Place it lightly to your shin, left arm to the ceiling, or place it on a block or any prop outside the foot, or if you can reach the ground, maybe take the fingertips to the ground. But only do that if you're not turning yourself over the front leg. Keep the chest open, facing the side. Keep the arms stretched really wide, far apart. Reach the crown of the head forward. Trikonasana triangle pose. And then press into the feet. Inhale from triangle, rise all the way back upright. Look forward, re-bend the right knee, come back to warrior two. And then reverse your warrior again. Flip that palm up. Maybe go a little deeper this time. Maybe the back hand moves further down the leg, or you try the wrap this time. Or you just keep the hand on the hip. Try to find even bigger of a stretch through that right side of the waist. Try to release the shoulders down the back. With your inhale, come all the way back upright. With your exhale, turn your right toes back to the side. Parallel your left foot to your right foot. Take your hands to your hips. Bend your knees. Either heel toe your feet together or hop the feet to side. Okay, take a moment, shake out the legs, do a little dance. Let's do that on the other side. You can face the same way. You can turn around if you like. Separate the feet just as wide. Hands on the hips, left knee bends. Turn the toes out. Knee tracks over the toes. Bring the back toes in. Move the heel further behind you. Slide it back so you have a nice true 45. Make sure you're aligned back arch to front heel. And then guide that knee forward. Let's do that same setup. So we're focusing on the length of the upper body. Hands come from the hips to hold the rib cage. Then as you turn it back to the side, keep that knee pointing forward. Don't let the knee turn to the side. Lift the rib cage up. So really feel like you can pull the ribs up away from the waist and create space without losing the bend of the knee. Notice that the shoulders went up too. Shoulders draw down. Expand the rib cage. Keep that expansion as you send the arms out. Then look forward. Virabhadrasana 2. Bend your left knee a touch more. Then change nothing from the waist down or from the hips down. Reverse the shape in the upper body. Stretch it all the way up. Choose whichever variation works for you this first time. Maybe take it a little softer on this first reverse warrior. Keep the chest open, melt the shoulders. As you inhale, rise back upright, warrior two. Straighten the left leg without letting the knee click, so keep it just a little soft. Keep the inner thighs hugging together though, and then let your left hip push back into the right hip so the right hip rises a bit more as you extend the left arm out. Take it down wherever it's best for you. Maybe just below the knee. It may be on the ground with two blocks stacked under it. It may be near the ankle or even to the ground. And then open the heart a lot. Move the shoulders away from the ears, out of the ears. Send the top of the head forward and extend the upper body. Notice if you're arcing over the front leg, extend the under left side of the waist. Keep length there as you find your triangle shape. And then as the feet press down, inhale, rise all the way back upright. Look forward. Return to warrior two. Don't lose the bend of the knee. Reverse it again. See if you can find even more stretch. So raise that arm even higher before you even think about stretching it behind you. Get a lot more length through the the rib cage. As you inhale, rise all the way back upright. And then slowly turn the left toes in. Parallel the feet, so outer edges are completely parallel. Keep the arms stretched out perhaps. Tip forward from the hips. Try to keep your back flat. Keep reaching forward like you're an airplane, flying, flying, flying. Maybe let your upper body hover. Notice if all the weight went back into the heels. Shift the balls of the feet more, reach your arms further out. Lengthen your chest and the crown of the head further forward. Keep this. Exhale, start to twist to the right, like an airplane. Maybe take the left fingertips or palm to the ground or on a block. Raise the right arm to the ceiling. On your exhale, twist all the way back to center, stretch the arms all the way out like an airplane, and then keep the hips level, let the upper body turn slowly to the left, and then take that right hand down. Block can be any height if you're using it. You can be on fingertips. You can have your hand on some other non-traditional prop. As you exhale, release all the way down, both hands on the ground. Then from here, you're going to stay here on a forward fold. So you can either just walk the hands back. Maybe that's fine. Maybe you're going to reach for the big toes or even like the outside of the calves. You can also keep your hands on your hips and then shrug the shoulders, try to bring the elbows together. If your hands are on the ground and they're just kind of in line with the feet and your elbows bend and the crown of the head comes to the ground, and you'd like to invert, if you do a tripod headstand, you're welcome to come into that. If that's not your practice, stay in the forward fold. And then if you are inverted, slowly make your way down. From the forward fold, walk your hands forward a little bit here. Beautiful. Then bend your knees a bit. Slide your heels in. Walk your hands toward you. Take them onto your thighs. Press onto the thighs, lift up. So now you're in a squat. Make sure the knees are tracking over the toes. Then press a little weight into the hands, straighten the arms. Feel like you're just kind of dropping your hips down. Draw the shoulders back, pull the chest forward. Exhale, twist to the right. Drop the left shoulder to center. This should feel like a nice release for the lower back. Bring it to center. Exhale, take it to the other side. Inhale to center. Drop the hips further. Release the tailbone down. Lift the chest up, shoulders back. Maybe stretch the arms out. Maybe sit the hips a little bit lower. Turn the palms up, straighten the legs, raise the arms up. Come all the way to stand. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Bring your hands to your hips. Soften the knees, turn the toes in, and then either hop or wiggle the feet the rest of the way together. Shake out the legs. All right, I have one more little flow series before we start to slow things down a bit more. So, come to the top of your mat once again. Stand with your feet parallel. Bring the hands together at the heart center. On your inhale, sweep your arms out and up, reach to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, take it back down. Inhale, stretch the heart forward halfway up. Bending the knees, plant the hands, moving through the vinyasa or skipping it, down dog if you're not taking the flow. Shifting, chaturanga. Up dog, cobra, any back bend as you inhale. Downward facing on the exhale. Come down dog, inhale, extend the right leg all the way up and back behind you. Bring the knee high to the chest, shift forward, look ahead, step it through. One more time, you're gonna start for crescent. Adjust the stance as needed for you. When you're ready, inhale, come right up into your crescent. Then make just one more breath here. Work to raise the upper body up away from the hips. And then exhale, take it back down. All right, once the hands come down, take the knee down, untuck the toes, walk your hands to your right thigh. Press onto it, lift the upper body up. Find that you're kind of peeling away from the front of the thigh. Nice. Take a moment here. I'm going to turn around so you can see me. So, right knee bending forward, back knee on the ground. Then take your left hand to your hip. Roll that shoulder a little further back so your torso turns angled, not straight off to the side, obviously, but it's a little more angled. And then raise your right arm, take it off the thigh, raise it straight out in front of you, palm facing inward. And then stretch that hand high, high, high to the ceiling. With this hand on your hip, place your thumb to the kind of lower back, maybe that little kind of indentation, and lower it down towards the back of the knee. Maybe raise that arm higher and higher. Keep this knee bending forward. Maybe stay here. This is a lot for some. Maybe for others, you're going to slide that hand down the back leg, crawl it toward the calf. Maybe crawl it toward the heel. It may not get there. Maybe you keep the hand on the hip. Then slowly come back through vertical. Turn your torso to face forward. Float your left arm up to meet the right, Anjaneyasana. Lean forward, hands on the ground. Curl the back toes, lift the knee. Step straight back to down dog, or move through vinyasa, whichever makes you happiest. Once you are back in that downward facing dog, inhale, left leg, extend straight back. Bend the knee, draw it in, step it through. Take the back knee down. Walk the hands to the front thigh. So once again, make sure that you have a good bend in this knee, but it's not going past the ankle. So you don't want the lunge to be here. That's just going to strain the knee. So yes, it is going to be a little harder with the foot further forward, but the more you get this lower part of the leg to be in a nice vertical line from the heel up to the knee, it's going to be a little safer for the knee. Right. Take your right hand to your head. Pull the chest up. And now without letting the pelvis twist, just let the chest open to an angle. So towards maybe the upper corner of the mat. And then continue breathing. Use this back hand to feel like you can move that tailbone down so that you don't start to feel a crunching. And then stretch your left arm forward, palm facing in. And then take this slowly. You can stop at any time. Flip the arm up. So this is an Ardha Ustrasana. Lifting the chest. Maybe the arm goes vertical and stays there. Maybe the hand stays on the hip. Maybe, without losing the bend of the knee, you glide the hand down the back of the leg or crawl the hand toward the thigh. If you're able to, some of you may get the heels. Some are going to be like, what? That's insane. I'm working to keep space in the back body, lift the chest, and keep the front knee bending. So this is a big stretch for your hip flexor too, of that back right leg. When you're ready, take it slow. If you release the hand back, bring it towards you, and then turn the torso forward. Stretch your right arm forward and up to meet the left. One more big breath, square the chest straight ahead. Exhale, lean it forward, hands down. Maybe one last vinyasa if you'd like. Clear the way, step it back to plank. Shift forward, take that chaturanga, move with your breath. Inhale, one last big heart opening back bend. Exhale, down dog. All right, take a moment, take the knees down. Let's take a child's pose. All right, so most of us are going to stay in child's pose for a few breaths. If you're itching to invert, to go upside down, and you didn't get the chance to do that tripod handstand, if you have a wall space that you can go to invert, or if you do inversions without a wall, if you can do it in the middle of the room, great. You can take this time, not a whole lot of time, but I always like to offer the option for inversions. Some of us aren't going to want it right now. So if that's the case, if you're inverting, go for it. If you're not, you can stay in child's pose for a little bit longer. Or to continue some gentle movement, perhaps you come up off from your seat and come back to hands and knees. And then you take some slow cat and cow. Feel the breath starting to slow down. So if you're not going upside down especially, or if you are inverting and you're doing something more restful, like legs at the wall, slow things down. And perhaps if you're doing a headstand, you can slow the breath down. It's a little harder because you're working a little harder, but focus on smoothing out that breath. All right, take a moment and just settle back to neutral. If you are at the wall or if you're upside down in any inversion, start to make your way back to your mat. So just come to any seated posture for a moment. I'm going to have us do Ustrasana. So we did an already Ustrasana, which in some ways is a little bit easier because you get the benefit of turning to the side. But it's a little harder because it's harder to heel. For regular Ustrasana, we work to square ourselves forward. So we've done a lot to stretch the hip flexors, to kind of work back bending, especially opening up the upper back, a lot of twists and side stretches to create space and length. We're going to put all that into play and work camel pose. So for Ustrasana, if you have those props, if you have 2 blocks and a bolster, I'll show you some options to use them for your Ustrasana. If not, you can, like I said, you can do this without props. I'll show you options as well. So, first one, if you have the bolster, I'm going to have everyone come to kneeling so that your knees are right under your hips. Your legs are extended behind you. Your lower legs are parallel. So you're in that kind of just even kneeling position, hips right above knees. You're there. I'll turn to the side so it's a little easier to see. So if you have that bolster, place it over your calves, right up against the backs of your thighs. So you're going to start there. Then everyone's going to do this first time around. Hold your rib cage. Remember this? We did this during our setup for Warrior 2. It's a reminder to create some space. Hold the ribs. Lift the rib cage up. So feel that you're kind of pulling up away from the hips and stretching the upper body. Lovely. Keep that space. Keep that lift. Take the hands up from the ribs. Bring them behind you. Place your palms on your tush. So basically, the heels of the hands are right below your lower back. Your fingers are pointing down towards your buttocks. And then once you have that connection, move your hands down like maybe an inch so that you feel like you're kind of sliding the buttocks toward the bolster or the backs of the knees. Then lift the chest up. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the heart to the ceiling. And then without feeling like you can tip backwards or jam in the lower back, find the heart rise even more so you start to coil back and you keep that space in the back body you're not dunking into. And then slowly just come back to neutral. So that first one is just a little kind of setup. Next one, maybe you're going to take your hands to your bolster. If you don't have the bolster, maybe you keep your hands here, or if you have 2 blocks, you can place the blocks next to your ankles for a target. And we'll do a third one after that, and maybe that one will go a little further optional. So as you inhale, lift the chest up, shoulders back, heart close to the ceiling. Try to get as much height as you can. Try to really lift the ribcage up, heart pulls up. And then, without letting your hips move behind your knees, try to do this without twisting side to side now. Maybe just take one hand now. Let the fingers flip towards you on the bolster. Press in the bolster with the chest. If you're doing this with blocks, your hands come to blocks. If you're doing this and you're able to reach for the heels, maybe you're doing that. Or maybe you're going to save that for the third time around. So take it as slow as you need to, just as slowly as you approached. Bring your hands gently to the back body to guide you all the way upright. Okay, you can do this again. Take a moment. Lift the bolster if you have it. You can choose to lose the bolster. Go for blocks next to the ankles. Or maybe you curl the toes under and go for the heels. Those of you who do this a lot and can do it with the feet flat, you can do that as well. Just make sure that you're not trying to go so far into it that you're just starting to jam in the lower back or shift your hips back. You want to stay here, stay upright. So you'll feel a little stretch of the hip flexor if you keep that, the front of the pelvis lifted, the upper body long. When you're ready, hands behind you. Take it slow. Modify as you need to. Maybe you're just keeping your hands here the whole time and working to pull up away from the hips and coil back. So think that you have a target behind you. You can't let your shoulder blades dunk down into whatever is behind you. You have to pull up away from it. Resist gravity, and then maybe go for the opposite hand first. Reach for bolster blocks. Maybe the heels, puff the chest up to the ceiling. Only lean the head back if you can do so without shortening the breath. Very carefully support the hands as you slowly come all the way back upright. Take your time. Place your arms next to you. You can do this with a bolster behind you or without. Sit back onto your heels or onto your bolster. Toes can be curled under. Toes can be stretched back. Once you're seated, just wag your hips gently side to side. Just a little bit of movement. All right, from here, I'm going to have us come to sit. Take your time, slowly find a comfortable seat. You can elevate your seat if you need to. I'm going to have you sit cross-legged, Sukhasana. Keep the feet flexed. Make sure that these aren't too wide. We're going to start with a little side stretch and a twist here. So you're going to lift through the upper body, and then keep the upper body nice and long and lifted. We're going to start to twist to the right. Once you twist to the right, cross your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Stretch your right arm straight up to the ceiling. Stay nice and vertical for now. Turn the palm to face kind of what's behind you right now. Reach that hand higher. On the exhale, twist further to the right. Reach that hand higher. Now, sweep that arm behind you. So you're taking a twist and a side move at the same time. Try to not peel the right hip off of the ground. Try to anchor that hip and then stretch higher and then further back as you turn open toward the right even more. So it's a big stretch. You can decide to take it a little softer. You can use that hand holding the knee to turn you further into it, a little corkscrew. And then as you inhale, slowly come all the way back upright. Turn the face forward. Exhale, twist to the left. Take that right hand to the left knee. And then continue lifting and sitting tall. Exhale, twist further to that side. And then extend the left arm straight up. So start with this vertical line. So the front of the head reaches up, the fingertips reach up, palm faces behind you. Anchor both hips. Inhale, sit taller, reach higher. Exhale, twist further as you start to stretch that arm behind you. And then each inhale, feel like you're lengthening and sitting up a bit more. Each exhale, you're turning and leaning a little more. So maybe you're holding this knee and kind of almost using it as a leverage and bending the right elbow to go deeper. Try to do that without peeling that hip up. Try to keep the knees moving toward the ground, the upper body turning and stretching away from the place that you're turning. And then as you inhale, come all the way upright, turn to face forward. Exhale, lower that hand, hands to knees. Take a moment here, keep the feet flexed, knees in. Stretch the arms out. Turn the palms up as you inhale, raise the arms slowly up to the ceiling. Sit even taller, lift the back ribs up off of the waist. As you exhale, tip forward maybe just a couple of inches. Keep your back flat. Inhale, stretch a little higher through the fingertips. Exhale, tip just a little further forward. Don't let the back round at all yet. Do that again. Inhale, lengthen a little bit more forward. Exhale, tip forward even a little bit more. When you can't do this anymore, reach your arms further out like you're trying to stretch to whatever's in front of you. And then take the hands down. Roll the shoulders back, pull the chest forward. Inhale, exhale, lower the chest. So depending on how open your hips are, you may be a little bit more upright. You may not have tipped that far forward without punching into it. So maybe the hands walk a little further back and you pull forward, draw the shoulders back. If you can keep your back from really severely rounding, maybe the hands walk forward and you lower the forearms onto the ground. Maybe you use those blocks or bolster, something in front of you. If you are like, hey, I'm not even feeling a hip stretch at all, my hips are super open, good for you. And you can do this then, make it harder. Stack the top leg on top instead of crossing in front. That's going to make the hip stretch a little more intense. Not everyone's going to need that. If you're taking that, you want your ankles and knees to be pretty much evenly stacked. And then you're walking it forward like that. So you're taking double pigeon variation. And then slowly walk the hands back towards you, come all the way back upright. And then switch the leg crossing. So opposite shin comes in front. If you know you're taking double pigeon, stack, just make sure that you can get the knees flush. So it may be a little different from one side to the other. If this side is a little tighter and you're like, my knee is floating, just cross it. All right, so take a moment, sit up nice and tall. Stretch the arms out. Notice if you're starting to punch the shoulders forward or back of the pelvis, sit upright. Find a tall seat. Place more height at the hips if you need to. Palms up, inhale. Slowly stretch the arms up to the ceiling. And then do this ever so slowly. Keep the feet flexed. Keep the spine long. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, tip forward just an inch or two. Maybe that's enough. Then inhale, re-lengthen. Stretch all the way across the back body. Exhale. Keep the back flat. Tip forward just a little more. Do that as many times as you need to. Maybe you can keep doing this further and further with a flat back. Maybe you can only do it a couple of times with like a ½ inch lean. And then you're like, that's enough. I'm going to stretch the arms forward, reach out, and then take the hands down. Maybe they're just in front of the legs and you're already great in the hip stretch. Maybe the hands need to walk forward. Maybe you set up some props to rest the hands or forearms. So find your hip stretch. Take it slow. So you're really wanting to lengthen forward. Keep the hips anchored, the back of the pelvis kind of moving, or the tailbone to roll down, and then you're stretching away from that. So you should feel a nice stretch across the back body in addition to the outer hip skin. Nice stretch. And slowly walk your hands back towards your crossed legs. Sit up tall. And cross the legs. Stretch them out in front of you. So we're going to finish with a forward fold here. I'll turn back to the side. So legs extended straight forward. Inner feet close together. Feet flex. Sit up tall. Maybe place the fingertips next to your sides or palms, depending on your arm length. And try to stretch the crown of the head higher to the ceiling. And then when you're ready, keep the spine long, stretch the arms out, raise the arms up. Take it slow. Once again, exhale, tip forward inch by inch. Try to lengthen across the back body as you reach the arms so far forward. You can't reach any further forward. Release, take the hands down, grab the feet, move something around. Maybe you have a belt or a strap or a towel. Maybe you're going to grab the calves or the edges of your mat. Maybe you're going to crawl the hands forward. Some forward fold variation where you can get the hamstrings to get a stretch. And once again, a nice stretch across the back body. Take maybe about 5 or 6 breaths once you're in Paschimottanasana. And taking your time, very slowly, roll upright to sit. From there, you make your way onto your back for Shavasana. Maybe finish with a happy baby pose. Maybe grab some props if you want to set up, if you have the blocks and the bolster. Set up the blocks near the front of your mat. Place the bolster over it. You can do the blocks any height you need. And that way you can lay onto your back and rest the calves or the backs of the knees on this. That way you can have the legs elevated. It's a little bit more of a release for the lower back. So if you have those props and would like to do that, you can set it up. If not, any version of Shavasana that will allow you to feel rested. So make your way into your final resting pose. Take your time once you're there. Adjust your body so that you feel comfortable. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. Relax every muscle in the body with your eyes closed. Rest in Shavasana. as much time in your Shavasana as you need. If you are ready to move on with your evening, begin to slowly welcome some movement back into the body. Any stretches you need to start to make your way upright. So maybe take your time and move to your side. And then from there, take your time to come back upright to sit. When you're ready to finish class, anytime that's right for you, take your hands together at your heart as you sit tall, eyes closed. You just feel your body, notice any changes. And take your next inhale, let your heart move to your hands. As you exhale, gently bow your head toward your fingertips. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste. Thank you. Have a great evening, everyone. Nice to see you guys. See you next time. Bye.